going from where you ended, you talked about leaders, educators, and all of that. Now, how can control or the topic we're discussing help virtuous lives? And how can we avoid pitfalls in order not to, while we're trying to avoid something, we're doing it or falling into it? So, how do we avoid pitfalls when it comes to shaping virtuous lives?
I would still cite an example. Particular child that I want to start with, I think, a story. Yeah. It was trending so many years ago.
I want to put perspective to it. I'm sorry for that. Now, because of the story you said about your son having to, having chastised him, and then you dream closer with love. And then you talked about the students who busted into tears as a result of these beautiful things that you were calling them, which has never happened to her. Now, that is love. Then there's control in what you've discussed. How then do we avoid pitfalls, even while trying to use this too? Because some people may use love and all of it, and at the end of the day, even the children will curse them later. And some use excessive control that also, like you said, to damage that will damage them at the long run. So while trying to avoid certain pitfalls, how do we do that? And in order not to get into that.
Avoidance is not something that it's not so clear to me, because how do you avoid a student that will hurt? Can you avoid a student that will hurt? How do you avoid such a student? I am trying to get you, just like, I think when it comes to not using the whip, there should be boundaries. In a school where there are boundaries, you don't do this, you don't go to this place, because you have set your boundaries and they know the do's and don'ts. Am I giving that question the right answer? Because there are boundaries and there are do's and don'ts. I think by giving boundaries and do's and don'ts, normally we have students that are very obedient, and we have students, we have children, individuals that are like, oh, even if I do it, what will happen? We have children like that. We have individuals like that. Because you have set your boundaries, because you have laid down your principles, yes, that you have given your measures of, if you do this, I'll do this. Like in Yoruba, there is something like that. When there is no law, there will be no offenders. Am I making sense?
There is no law.
So I think you can avoid such by doing that.
So while trying to show love, while trying to use love and control, we can still avoid pitfalls, potential errors.
Okay.
All right. So now moving forward, what role do you think self-reflection and self-awareness play in cultivating virtue and balancing love and control?
Very quickly, I'll say, like I have here, recognize our faults and areas for growth. Recognizing our fault, I think I did that. I wasn't actually faulty. He did something I didn't like, and I had to scold him. But at least after some minutes, like I said, and I did allow him grow or wallow in it. I had to quickly make him snap out of it. I have here examine our motives and align with our values. Our motives. Why did I spank him? Was the reason for spanking him good enough? Was it strong enough? Examine our motives and align them with our values. You don't play in the rain. It wasn't just an ordinary plane, very dirty one. He had a shovel. I was like, God, what is this in the rain? So that's the value. You don't stay in the rain. You don't do dirty things in the rain. He knows that. Then learn from mistakes and adjust behavior. There was a story of a teacher that didn't know a student was strong. The student had his head on the table because he was strong. But the teacher felt the student was just being heady. And while he was saying, get up, why is your head on the table? She kept hitting the boy on the head. And after hitting the boy on the head several times, the boy fainted. That they had to invite the mother of the boy to the school. Then when the mother came, the teachers turned it to, oh, there is this English I speak, esprit de corps. They tried to cover up the teacher that hit the boy. But the students, other students didn't allow them cover it up. While the teachers were saying another story, the students were saying the truth. You understand? But now this is what would have happened, because these children are watching the teachers learn from mistakes and adjust behavior. The teacher didn't know, fine, that the student was strong. But after discovering he was strong, she could just give an apology. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. Those sweet words, I'm sorry, I never knew you were strong. Yeah, and it will just like die down like that. But the fact that she was trying to cover up her mistake, no, that was unfair. And the children saw that. I remember after so many months, they kept calling that teacher a liar. Of course, they couldn't say it to her face, but that was the picture they got of her. Oh, she's not faithful. Oh, she's not truthful. She was trying to cover up what she did. Then stay and monitor our emotions and reactions. Very, very key. Very, very key. I do this at home. Once I know my temperament is not balanced, I'll just warn my kids. Don't take me beyond this stage. I am careful because I know myself. So I am careful about it. So let us be careful once we know our emotions are not balanced. Don't let us do anything when our emotions are too high or too low. It could be dangerous. Thank you.
Yes, we should be careful. Like, I think I was in a meeting today, and in that discussion, it was about teens and twins, and we're made to know that um, these are the things that were mentioned, that parents, no matter what, you should not react when your emotions are everywhere. Like you have a retaliatory mindset, like I just want to do, because what in a moment of rage, because when you react at that time, you could cause more harm than good. Take, for instance, a parent who is angry at a child, and because of that moment of anger and like, okay, I'm going to do this. Remember when we were growing up, some parents will use turning stick to hit a child. Some will even use broom to beat the child. So now we're told of the story of a woman who was angry, and then she threw the turning stick to the child, and it hit the child on the head. And we're told that since then till now, even though the woman is late, the boy, the man, I would say man, is no longer the same. They cannot even he's not married, he didn't graduate from school. Everything was just fell out of place because of that anger. And I also have experienced when a mother was beating a child, and as she was doing it, she pushed the child against the fan. The fan was running. The covered shoe, the sole of the shoe, they've used it to hit somebody. These are things that we've seen while growing up, in moments of anger, which would actually cause eternal damage. So, agreeing to add to what you've said is actually very, very important. When you know your limits, you know how much you can take at some time, then you shouldn't go beyond it. And it's very important that we should also self reflect and like you were aware of your situation. Like if you push me beyond this, I'll do what I don't want to do. And
Yes.
exactly. And if any child that is wise, we know that no, I can't afford to push mommy
We
beyond
take cover. Take cover.
this. So thank you so much. Any final word? What advice do you have for teachers? Do you have for leaders, even parents?
Yes, but before my final words in few seconds, I really want to lay emphasis on what you just said. There is a trending video in Nigeria today. A father was trying to scold his son just last week. I don't know how terrible what the child did was, but while he was trying to scold him, he beat the child to death. And it's your old son. Yes, I'm telling you. So immediately I didn't even remember this all along. But immediately you mentioned the damaged man. That man is damaged, he's still alive. This boy is dead. 8-year-old son, just last week here in Nigeria. So I really want to cap what you said, that we should be careful. It shouldn't be about weeping, physical weeping. It's even a wicked act. It's a very wicked one. I mean, what kind of physical beating was he giving an 8-year-old son that led to his death? He's not going to forgive himself. He's not going to be the same again. In fact, it is well. So in conclusion, I want to say the examined life is not worth living. You need to keep examining yourself. You need to keep checking yourself. You need to keep cautioning yourself. We have school teachers around me that will beat these children to the extent that when you see their back, you'd actually think they are armed robbers. And by the time you ask, they will tell you, I didn't submit my assignment. I left the class to go and I didn't take permission. Very little things, but I mean, I really want adults to check and examine themselves. Then to grow in virtue, we must know ourselves and be willing to change. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. It's always wonderful having you around. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
And to you out there, thank you too for being part of the show. Remember what she said in the onset when we started this program. She said something about choosing what is right, even when it is not convenient. That is called virtue. So please ensure that you build the right virtue. And even as we are also trying to encourage parents not to do the otherwise, the negative, we are also encouraging the children and the students to also honor their parents, honor your teacher, do your homework, do what you need to do to avoid trouble. Until next time when I come your way again, be safe.